We are on episode 3 of Bronze to Top 100 into the season progress, and if you don't know where we are already, we are actually Platinum 3 at 1%. Let's get into the first race and see how we get on. Just want to say a massive thank you for everybody that has been using the supporter code and has been supporting the channel by commenting down below and smashing that like button. Let's get into the first race. Right, first race then on Outpost. Now we are going to skip the first 2 laps. We're going to move straight into the third lap and then commentate from there. So let's go to the third lap. So here we go then, into our third and final lap. We're currently in first place. It was a very, very tough race. Been using our turbos. This game is very, very tough. I have to say Diamond already, I'm noticing everybody knows the best circuits, the best shortcuts, the best time to use turbo. It's a really competitive race and I love it. Here we go then, pushing up onto the first hard corner, as they say. See that, guys, to the jump. I don't like to take the jump. I like to build my turbo up and then push around underneath. Jump back into second place. Try and get that streamline, get a little bit closer. We can't, not a problem. Now we're getting here as we fly over. That's the perfect time. Looking to jump down into this little, I don't know what you call it, barn shed, into the corner. Coming up to the last couple of corners now. Now it's really important you get this right to be able to build this boost up, because you're going to need this boost to flip onto this and then turbo off. And then as soon as you land, you're looking to power slide round. And it looks like we're going to finish in 5th here by the looks of it. Oh. Very tough race. 5th in the first one of Diamond. Let's go into our next couple of races. Right, into our last lap on Anaconda. So far, we are in the lead. We're doing a very good racetrack, but all it takes is one mistake in this division, and it costs you massively. So we need to get our boost up to get around these corners. Now, we are using the drifting mechanic to our advantage here. That's a really bad corner. Make up for it. Don't worry about crashing too much. You just got to maintain your speed and know the track line. As you can see here, we're getting that boost. Now, we need to build up our next boost as soon as possible, because people are going to start catching up with us, and that's not going to be a problem here as we drift around this corner, drift around the next corner. Only a few corners left to go in this track. Lovely turn around here. Neck and neck, as you can see. He's weighted his turbo early, so I've got the advantage, as we are going to use it here. And then our second one is just going to get us over the line into first place, and that is our first win today in Plat 3. Let's see how many points we get towards the progress from this as we move over. So you don't get much. You don't get much at all. Let's go into the next race. Neck and neck, second versus first. Looks like we're going to come third or second. Third place, we'll take it. Not the best, definitely not the worst though. Going to help us progress a little bit more. These races are getting tighter and tighter, closer and closer, but as long as we're climbing this ladder, I don't care. Let's get into the next race.
So if you want to be an absolute GOAT of the channel, you can go ahead and use support creator code NANIC on the screen. Every single person that does this, I thank you so much, and you are a superstar.
Right, we're nearly there on the final lap. We are currently in 3rd place, 2nd place. We're literally top 3 here. Trying to get the perfect line. If we don't mess up this corner, we have got ourselves a win here. Oh, it's a good turn. We'll keep that on the deck. Use our turbo, cross that finish line, and get ourselves another first place. Let's see where we are in our progress up. We are absolutely flying through Platinum 3 now, working our way up to Diamond. As you can see here, we're nearly at the halfway point. We've had back-to-back-to-back wins. Let's get into the next race. Right, pushing around into the last couple corners. We're just about in first place. This is a very, very tight race. We're going to see if we can hit this boost pad on the side here. We didn't. We can't even get off the wall either. We're going to have to make a jump here. Not a problem. It hasn't cost us too much just yet. We are looking to build up our 3rd turbo into this last couple corners here. One big drift is going to help us out massively. Overtake one car. Keep building that drift up perfectly. Straighten out the car. Into the green tab. Now we've got 3 turbos. So we are going to drift here. We're going to look to going into full speed. 1, 2, 3, 4... Oh, and just into 2nd and 3rd place there. Really, really tough. I think us missing that green pad there messed us up. But it is what it is. We are still progressing up the track nicely. Let's get into the next race. Into the last lap then. We're in 3rd place at the moment. We need to get at least 2 turbos here if we're going to have any chance of winning this. Some good race lines, some good drift lines are going to help us here as we land up on top. Big, long drift round. Look at that. This is where we want to be right now. Now, we aren't going to use our turbo here like we usually do. We're going to save it because we need to save it for the last corner. What I found on this track is the more boost you have near the end, the better off your chances are of winning. And that's what we need to do. So we're just going to keep trying to maintain this drift. Keep building up our turbo or boost, whatever you want to call it. And then should have 2. So this is where we are in the perfect position now. In 2nd place. Using the trail lines, those streamlines to catch up. Drift around this corner, lovely. Now use the first turbo in, green pad, second turbo, and there you are, first place into this. Now I've absolutely nailed down this Windy Way track, or what I think it's called. Let's see where we are on our progression board now. We should be ranking up nicely, 64%. We are getting closer and closer into the next race. Looks like we could be on Windy Way again, which is back-to-back Windy Ways. Can we get back-to-back first places and progress up that ranking system faster? Let's see how we get on. 5% boost, that's good. Little jump over, a little drift in. Build up that turbo nice and early. Let's go. Oh, love that. Bit of jumping right. Here we go. Big drift. Nice and long. Use our first turbo to get away from the crowd. Land here. Look to drift a little bit. And then drift again here. Big long drift. Get that turbo up again. Flip up nice and high. Drift again. Keep drifting. Building up that turbo little by little. Land down here. And then what I found is better to drift like this. There's our first turbo. Now we are going to use this in this situation because what we're going to do here is get a lovely long inside drift round. And then we're looking to hit the full speed. And again, we're going to try fly up. And you want to land on top of that green turbo trap, but I missed it. No problem. And we're going to keep going here. We're not going to ignore those two there because we're going to land down here. We're going to start drifting nice and early. Get ourselves a turbo here once we land off this. Perfect. And then we can drift around again. Nice long drift. Now we're actually going to try and hold as many turbos as we can in this situation. Reason being is we're already in a very good position in terms of top 3. And if we have 3 turbos on the last lap, no one's going to catch us, that's for sure. As we push our way through. And then as we can see here, a little drift. One more to get that turbo up. Turbo unlocked. Let's go unlock the 3rd turbo now on this track. Do a little bit of a power slide. And then bang, we're going to drop down in. And then we are going to turn around this corner nice and tight. Building up that turbo. Don't worry about anyone pushing us out of the way. And then we can go 1, 1, 2. See if we can hit this green pad this time. We can't. It doesn't matter. We can land back down. Into the final lap then. We have got ourselves 1.5 turbos or just over. Currently in the lead, looking for back-to-back wins. We get ourselves a 2nd turbo. We're going to bounce off this ramp. Lovely. Let that bounce over for us. And we're going to do a lovely long drift around this corner. Looking to build it up. And then we can turbo here because we're going to have 2 spare for the last corner, which is what we want. We're going to wait just a second and then we're going to start to drift here. Keep drifting around. Double drift. Love that. Flip up. Look to build that 2nd turbo as we get into this corner. That's just going to help us when we get around this corner here. So what you want to do here, nice and easy. Little drift in. Use that boost to take you into this jump. Jump down. As soon as you get here, just start drifting and then just hold that drift all the way around. Don't worry about overtakes. First turbo in on the green pad. 2nd turbo in. And into first place we go. Back to back first place. Back to back Windy Ways. I'm loving this track. Where are we going to be in our terms of ranking? Let's see what we get here. We are up to 72%. Next race, please. Right into the last lap then. We're currently in 8th. We're trying to build up our 2nd turbo as we go through the shortcut. Now, I've never been amazing at this track. I have a couple days where I get the perfect runs and then a couple other days where I don't do that well. We're actually having a pretty good run here. We're just trying to beat our way through the crowd. As you can see, we're in top 3, top 5, and then back down to where we are. It's a very tight race. We're going to go to the top here, and we're actually going to look to turbo now. Drift round, 1 more. As long as we hit this green marker, we should be fine. We miss it, not a problem. We're going to turbo again. And we actually smashed first place, and I'll take that. I was saying not having the best run, but in terms of line, we did very, very well. Having 2 boosts at the end is exactly what you need. And as you can see, we are so, so close. Into the last lap then, in first place at the moment. Doing really, really well. Practiced this course the other day. Just sat it down, knuckling it down. You can see here, using these green pads can just fly you across the map so, so well. And then you can drift here to gain some of that extra turbo that you need. You don't want to miss that green boost, as I just mentioned that, of course. Commentator's curse, but no problem. We're still quite far ahead, I believe. We look to land down here, grab this marker, flip back up, flip onto this roof, land back down. Now, I know you can grab both of those on the side, but I personally prefer grabbing this one. Looking to get our boost here if we can. Grab our boost here, fly through, flip onto the pads, and into first place. You can see we are warmed up. We are smashing out the first places. That's 4 back to back to back. Let's see where we are in our rank now. As we are at 90%. We are literally 2 first places away from getting it. And I noticed we've got that bug where we both got the same times. It says first or second. It says first here, back out, wait for it to turn around, and it will say second. So I'll let you know if that's first or second. You can decide. But let's get into the next race. We are back on Curvy Canyon 2. We are in 4th pole position here. And we are looking to absolutely smash this course and get back to back to back to back to back first places. See how we do. 100% boost. Fantastic start. Love that. Look at that for a start. Drive around. Get that big, big drift in. Gonna jump over this. Fly around this corner here. Don't worry about hitting that too much. And then we can literally start drifting now. A little bit. And then big drifting to compose yourself around. Hitting that first green marker. Don't worry about going off the track too much. Now, if you want to, you can use a turbo here and just drive through like that. I'm not sure if it's the best time to do it, but sometimes it can help you get away from the pack. Then you can look to start drifting nice and early here to build up that secondary turbo. Always make sure you hit this tab. Then you can land back down, drift round. And then instead of drifting here, I recommend going straight in and then jumping up onto that tab, that tab, that tab, and then bang into this one. Now, there's several ways you can go. I found personally to go up is actually better, especially if you want to build up some turbo. So we're going to drift around this corner, drive around like this, and then hit our turbo here. And look at that, just flying ahead. See you later, guys. Bear in mind, we are on the cusp of going into Diamond, and we're just blowing the opposition away. Jump back down again, and a big turbo drift, or sorry, a big drift around here into our turbo, shall I say. Building it up. And again, instead of drifting or jumping, just jump around, cut this corner. Don't worry about crashing into that. Even if you do, it's not a problem. Obviously, if you don't, you're going to get a better line. But again, hitting that green tab, missing these two if you need to. Build up a little bit more turbo, and then we're just going to turbo our way through. Drift nice and early to build up a bit more. And then we're going to grab this green tab here. And then we got our first big drift again to build up our turbo. As long as you keep this consistent with it, no one will ever catch you. Getting into this one. A little drift round here. Keep maintaining that. We actually are going to drift again, even though I said don't do it. And then we're going to build it up, and then we're going to flip straight onto the roof. 1, 2, and then we've got ourselves high speed, looking to go to the top. And once we get to the top here, we are going to build up our secondary turbo, meaning we've got 2 for the final lap. So we use our first one here to say goodbye to everybody again, and then we can go into our last lap with a turbo spare, hitting this green tab, jumping up here nice and early, flipping onto the wall, grabbing this one, and then we can drift round absolutely perfectly here. Sliding in, got a car catching up, but not a problem because we're going to use our little jump trick. Get round that corner, absolute perfect there. And again, one big drift. As long as you hit one of these green pads, you're laughing. If you hit both, you're doing very, very well as we have. Now we can use our turbo to fly around. Don't worry about hitting the red as much. We've still got plenty of time. And on top of that, we've got ourselves an absolute spare turbo we can use, which we should get around this marker. To build that up, and then we can just roll up to the top, hit that down, flip into here. Looking to build it up. Maybe one more if we need it. There we go. And then we can jump up nice and early onto the roof. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flip back down. Look to jump up. And then we've got ourselves a victory here. No shadow of a doubt. First turbo. Second turbo. And there is first place. That is 6 first places in a row for me. On the cusp of going into Diamond. Let's see where we progress once these races are finished. And you can see there, we're at 98%. So close. Here we go then. The last race that could get us in to Diamond. Now, if we come top 3 or even top 5, I believe we're going to rank up. Let's see how we get on. 90%. I'll take that. I actually do like this track a lot. You get a lovely turbo off these corners. Don't worry about making a mistake too much nice and early. First lap's not that important. It's always the last lap that you need to make sure you have the perfect run on. Ideally, you want to have as many good runs as you can, of course. But we are going to use our first turbo here, basically just to keep the pace of the race. And then we are going to drift around this corner early and then drift a little bit more here. As you can see here, letting go of the acceleration so we can hold that drift a little bit longer. Looking to get our next turbo up as well, as that car's made a mistake. Hopefully streamline off him a little bit. If it lets us, it does, just as we go into the jump. Now, it's really important that you get this right. This can make or break your race, as we nearly messed that up. Ooh, very close. You see how important it is. Now, you want to try and build up 2 turbos as you get around these corners. Don't worry about hitting that red thing as much, because what we're going to do here is we're going to jump up, flip off the green thing, then hit our turbo here. And then when we land, we're going to be able to build up our next turbo to carry on into the next race. Now, on the final lap, it's really important that you turbo round that corner, but I'll explain to it when we get there. But from now on, we're looking to have 2 turbos at most of the track now. As you can see here, we just keep getting bashed around, but not a problem. We're not worrying about any other car right now. We're only looking for a top 5 finish. Anything higher is going to be an absolute bonus. But again, using our turbo here like we do, keeping up the pace here. And then we are going to do this nice long drift around this corner. And then one more if we can. And then jump up. And then we've nearly built our secondary up. Hopefully we can get some streamline off these cars. Look to build it up and then flip on. And again, we need to get this jump right. We get this jump right, we are laughing. We have got it perfect this time. There we go. And then we can start drifting, building up our secondary turbo, and then going into our third turbo. Again, not worried about hitting the red things as much just yet. So only the third lap we need to worry about making the perfect lap. So we're going to do the same thing, flip into this, turbo in, and then we've got ourselves our second turbo ready for the final lap. So we're going to do a big drift round, looking to maintain our positioning. People wasting their turbo now is absolutely fine. As long as we get ourselves a second turbo, which we've got, and now we can start building up our third turbo as we make our way round. Looking to keep pushing, not going to drift just yet. We're going to start drifting now. Let go of the accelerator and then push it back down again to get around that corner. Lovely. Use our turbo here like we always do to maintain our first position again. And then we're going to build up the rest of the turbo on this track here just by doing this. Again, not worrying about any other car hitting us. We can use them for streamline if we need to. Then we're going to use our turbo just to push away from the pack a little bit. Flip onto the wall. Look to jump down into the little warehouse garage situation. Look to boost off. And now we're going to try and go for the perfect lap round this time. Try not to hit any red things this time round. See here, just maintaining that boost where we can. We hit one, not the end of the world. We got our double turbo, that's all we wanted. Flip in, turbo, turbo. We're going to look to fly around. One more, and then we are going to get ourselves second place. And that's why it's so important to have 2 turbos. We didn't come first. We were only looking for a top 5 to progress into Diamond. We're getting to the stage now where top 3s are the most important. Let's see if we've done it. Surely we have. And there we go into Diamond Division. Diamond 1. Only taken us about 3 hours altogether. If you want to see the previous 3 episodes, it will be in a link in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.